Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another podcast, Printing's Alive, with me, your host, Warren Werbitt. Today, we have, another special guest. This one is actually really special, and I'm going to tell you why. We have Kim Woodin from Aurora Fast Print in Aurora, Illinois. Would that be correct?
That is correct.
Whew, that was good. I was practicing all morning saying that.
That was a long intro.
Yeah. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
I want to point out that this is Kim's first podcast that she's ever been on, so I'm honored and touched. And I'm going to tell you real quickly how Kim got here. Obviously, you all know by now that I have the Printwhisper.shop where I make t-shirts like this one. And I woke up one morning a few weeks after the shop was opened, and I see actually the cash register bell goes off because Shopify has a cash register bell, which is exciting. And it went off in the morning and I looked and I see, oh my God, this lady bought 6 t-shirts. And I was freaking out, jumping up and down. So what did I do? I called her to say thank you. By the way, all you web to print people out there, I hope you're calling customers, picking up the phone every now and again to speak to them because you need a voice. Anyways, I phoned her. I was so excited. I wanted to tell her how excited I was. I wanted to thank her. I wanted to tell her that I now had to call my friend and tell him he's in second place because she bought the most t-shirts. But check this out. Actually, I'm just going to ask you because I want in your own words. How did you find my shop? Because we had never met before. We had never spoken.
Correct. Yes. So I sent some of my staff to the Print Expo this year, and they were going over their exciting news from the expo when they came back, and there was a card that on one side was your QR code, I believe, and on the other side it had that's it. That's what I saw, and just happened to scan the QR code. I like to do that as a printer just to make sure they actually work and they go someplace, because it's always quite amusing when they don't. And it took me to your website, and I love paper. I love print. I still read the newspaper. So I just happened to be scrolling through, and there's one that says, I still read print. And so I thought, oh, that's the perfect t-shirt for me. And then I saw another one that I thought was perfect for my staff. So the thought just evolved. I did some special awards for them this year, just thanking them for the year that we had. And I thought that this would be a perfect way to make a certificate for them and give them something to recognize that they rock in the shop. And it created a lot of goodwill. We all wore the shirts on the same day. It was just a lot of fun from the moment I placed the order. Who knew?
Yeah, no. First of all, I'm sitting here and I'm smiling, and I always have a little bit of an agenda that I kind of come up with, so I have an idea. But now my brain's going sideways and I'm all over the place. There's a couple things. Couple things I want to just touch on that is so important that I talk about all the time, and you just hit all of the nails on the head. The first thing you said was you couldn't go to the show, but you sent your people.
Yes.
Where did you come up with that? Because I know all kinds of owners who don't do that, and I'm telling them they should. So why did you do it?
Well, I've been to a few shows in the past, and every time I go, I learn something new. I come back to the shop just jazzed about the industry and the possibilities. And I used to be in production. I didn't start as the owner, obviously. It can be very just dragging sometimes when you're the one that has on the folding machine or on the scoring machine. Those make for long days. So I wanted them just to get out and see what the industry had to offer. There's been a lot of changes, especially with AI over the last couple of years, and I wanted them to get refreshed and someplace warm. Chicago was very cold about that time as well, and just come back with a new excitement about what we can do in the shop and what we can provide for our customers.
So if you were here, I would give you a giant hug, right? I almost need a tissue, because you have just said everything so right that an owner should be doing with their employees. Because if we want to keep them, if we want them to engage, if we want them to know, we have to invest in them.
Absolutely.
Right? How did they feel when you told them they were going?
I think they were a little hesitant at first, that they thought I was kidding, quite honestly.
I was going to say, did they believe you?
Yeah, so I have sent them the youngest, her name is Catalina. I have not sent her. She's probably been with the shop about 2 to 3 years. But their graphic designer, there was a graphic show a couple years ago that I had sent. It's called How Live, I believe, was the name of the show. So I had sent her to that, and she had a blast. I think it was in Nashville, if I remember correctly. And so she was used to that type of environment. I've sent her before. She's been with me for quite some time. And I did send my wide format guy to the 3M training as well. So
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't totally unusual that I would send them, but this one was just more for knowledge instead of just, an actual skill that they were learning. This one was just to re-excite them and to energize them again, because I remember feeling that way. And when you feel that way about what you're doing, it changes your world. It really does, on a
That's
day-to-day
it.
basis.
As owners, we have certain privileges that others don't.
Yes.
Come and go, but to send, I'm almost speechless right now because I'm so excited. And even when you send me the picture with them in their t-shirts, they all just look so happy,
Yeah.
which so I always said culture is the biggest part about what we do, right? Because you spend more time with the people you work with than anybody else.
Yes.
Um, Oh wow! I got to think of something else to say because I'm ready to call it quits after that one because I'm just so
Yeah.
excited,
Yeah.
right? It's just so important. Now the other thing that you said that I want people to listen to, not because it's me, but yeah, because it's me. I did these cards that I was leaving on floors, I was leaving on tables, I was handing out to people wherever they were. Somebody picked one up and someone brought it back to the office.
Yep.
Marketing works.
It sure does.
Marketing works. So if you're a printer and you don't have something that you do with a QR code, get one. Put your shit out there and don't hesitate. And if all I could tell you is if you're not out there, you will not be seen. If you are out there somewhere, then there's a better chance that you are seen. Right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Kind of like Powerball. If you don't play, you're for sure not going to win, but the chances of winning are pretty slim.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say definitely marketing wise. I mean, print, I have people come in that save postcards that, like, for a retractable banner, I'll mail out a postcard and 3 years later they'll bring it in and say, I need one of these. And it just sparks that idea in them. I think I heard a quote fairly recently about print. Let's see if
Yeah.
I have it here.
But you give them the updated price, not the postcard price 3 years later,
Oh
right?
yeah. The
Okay.
pricing has definitely changed in 3 years. Yeah. I don't usually put a price on the postcard. It's just supposed to spark the idea of different
Cool.
marketing that people should use.
Oh my God. Okay, so now I'm going to rewind now, to pretending we're just starting the show again.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about how you got into print. You are a woman-owned business.
I
You
am.
said you have a good little team. So how did you get into print, and what kind of services do you provide?
Well, I got into print. It was my dad's print shop growing up. So he bought it in 1976, which was the same year I was born. I never ever thought I was going to end up in the print shop, honestly. It wasn't ever pushed on me. When I was in college, I would have time off in the, winter and certain holidays that I would stand at the bomb folder and fold 100,000 sheets of paper just for a little extra cash for the bars. But I
Love
got a
how you
job.
think. Love how you
Yeah.
think.
I needed some cash. I went to school in Iowa, so, back in the 90s. So you can imagine how fun that was. But I went and worked in an accounting department actually after college, and it just was very mundane. It was in a cubicle. I did the same thing on Monday. I did this, and then I did it the next Monday for it just got really boring. And I was complaining to my dad, and he said, I'll give you an opportunity. I'm hesitant to do it because being a business owner is very difficult. You put in a lot of long hours. It's hard, as everybody knows. And you definitely don't get paid probably for what you provide for the business. But
Ever.
computers were coming around, and he needed to go digital, and he just said, I don't have the energy to do it at this point in my life. He was, I think, in his maybe late 50s, early 60s at that point, and he said, I'll give you the opportunity if you can make my shop digital. Otherwise, I got to sell or close my doors. So I thought, what the heck, why not? And I just plugged in my first PC and off I went and bought a little digital machine. I think I went through Xerox at the time where they put a machine in your shop for a month and you don't have to pay anything. Yeah. I quickly learned, and my dad warned me, trust me, though he warned me about a lot of scams and things to avoid, but I was stubborn and had to learn the hard way, which every lesson I've learned the hard way, I I still remember.
It's 2026. I'm trying to be nice to the OEMs. So I'm just going to
Yeah.
sit here and
Yeah.
smile, right?
So yeah, I worked for about 5 years before I decided I did want to buy the business because I just was his employee for the first 5 years, and then in 2005 is when I decided to buy the business, and it's been an up and down roller coaster ever since.
So give me the worst times that you've had.
Ooh, the worst times. I would say the worst times I have to say, and it wasn't even, I would say during COVID, even the beginning when I bought the business, I really didn't know what I was doing or what to expect. So everything that came at me, it came at me. It was just, that's just how it
It's
is.
sometimes easier when you don't know.
It is. It is. I was taking publisher files. I didn't know I shouldn't take publisher files until they didn't work correctly print-wise on
Ever.
an offset press. Yeah. So, but during COVID, it just was hard. I would say like the stock, just getting stock on time, trying to be that rock for your customer when everybody's just trying to survive, and then something falls through on your end. And we had drums that the chip in the drum sometimes I don't know where it was from, but you could put a new drum in and it wouldn't work. So it would shut down the machine. So you could try 4 or 5 different drums, but getting the drums to us in the beginning of COVID was a huge hassle. So we had machines down after trying 4 or 5 bad drums, and it was stressful. It was stressful. I think I've said my fair share of select words to many people in the copier industry at that point when it was going on.
Yeah, with that part, I kind of chuckled a little because it was really bad. But I remember, one of the manufacturers that I was talking to said to me, "Well, doesn't," because I was telling him that there was a complaint from one of their customers, and he was like, "Well, don't you know that there's an issue, a shortage?" And I said to him, "You know what, buddy? You're a big company." I said, "Why don't you show me a copy of your disaster recovery plan? Because
Yeah.
being the company you are, you're supposed to be set up to be able to look after all your customers. So telling me there's a worldwide shortage, I don't really give a shit."
Yeah.
I said,
Well,
"And
and
what are you
they
going
were
to do for your?" Sorry, I was going to say, and I said, "What are you going to do for your customer?"
Yeah. And when we would call, we were on the smaller end, so they would be holding drums for the larger companies because they were paying more, but it was like the smaller companies still have to
Yeah. Anyway,
survive.
COVID was
Yeah. But
bad all
yeah,
around.
totally.
Bad
The
all around.
hardest part during COVID was just having to let staff go. I mean, we did the PPP loan and kept them around as long as I could, but my staff is my family. We're a little shop here, so and some of them like I said, it was my dad's shop, so I grew up with a lot of our customers. So I was disappointing family and my employees is how I took that.
Yeah, no. And did you get them back after?
Yes, yes, they were very gracious.
Great.
A lot of them at least had their spouses were working, so combined income, and they were so flexible. It was
The world was
amazing.
in a weird place,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So it was anyway. So I start off with what was bad
yes,
because like a good going out fishing or a good golf game, you want to end well and talk about the last hole or the
yeah,
last fish. But
yeah.
so tell me the stuff that excites you about print. Tell me the stuff that makes you smile. What do you love about it?
Uh, I love the creativity that comes with it. The colors, just the eye-catching images. I love how much it's evolved since I've even started. Like I said, I didn't know much about print when I started, and that hands-on learning process was and still is amazing. Um, I've gotten to the point now where I used to love running the machines and the equipment, and starting it from scratch and going to finish and boxing it up because I love to organize. So to me, that was like crossing something off the list. It was pretty great. But now I really love the strategic planning of being an owner. I work on my business plan weekly. I love the numbers. I love to crunch. I don't have an account. I have an accounting firm that files my taxes, but I do my own taxes as well, or accounting in-house as well. I have somebody that helps me do the bookkeeping and entering, but I like to, once every Monday I work on my financials. Every Tuesday I work on my my printer's plan and that sort of schedule. I really love it, the strategy of it.
Cool. And yeah, it's good that you've worked in all different areas, because now you know what anybody's going to say, anyone's going to complain, you could stop them, or they have a
Yeah,
problem, you could help fix
yeah.
it, right? And I
When
think
they
people probably look at you and respect you differently because you've done all that,
Yes, yeah.
right?
When I hear them say, "Oh, we can't do that," and I let it play out a little bit, but then it's like, actually, yes, we can.
Listen,
I will show you how to do it, and then you will do it.
yeah, I remember our first order for mailing was 1,500 pieces when I started, and I knew nothing about print. I basically licked 1,500 envelopes.
Oh,
I didn't even know about the sponge,
yeah,
right? So at the end of
yeah,
the day, like, you know.
yeah, yeah,
But after that, I didn't want to really do too much in the back. That was
yeah.
not my thing. I was
Definitely,
more
definitely.
into the sales and the management. But when you're three people, you are in the back when you
Yeah.
start.
You have no choice
So
at that point. I do think it's helpful to learn. Even our graphic designer, she can fold, she can cut. We sometimes in a small shop, as you know, you have
chip
to be
in.
all hands on deck. Sometimes we have, especially during Christmas season, we hand stuff a lot of Christmas cards. So we sit around a table and just have some goodwill among us too.
Oh, amazing. What do you do to bring in customers?
Oh, I do a lot of networking. I have done a lot of networking in the past.
What kind of networking?
Uh, Chamber events, do golf outings that I love just because I'm out of the office and I'm in the sunshine. I'm on a few different boards. Well, now I'm only on one board. I'm on the Kiwanis Club of Aurora board. Um, and my dad was a member of as well. There I used to be on like the Aurora Historical Society, Aurora Downtown. So I have probably 15 different boards that I've been on throughout my career itself. Now I've pared back to one. I try to do just three things. What do they say? It's like your business, your personal, and then kind of for your mental well-being that you should focus on those three things. So I'm trying to dial it back a bit, and my staff has kind of taken on some of that for me. So
Amazing.
that's been great too.
Yeah, when I had started, same thing. I went to all the Chamber of Commerces. I went to the BNI networking groups. I went
Yeah, I did one of
to
those as well. Yeah.
I mean, that I went to was okay, but it was all professional, so I wasn't too, I didn't stay there too long. But there is
Yeah.
nowhere. I got on hospital boards, I got on food bank boards, I got on anything. I would go anywhere where there was people, where I knew that I could have a presence and maybe be heard, right?
Yes, definitely. Yep.
And I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't happen overnight. But over time, people start seeing you. They see consistency. They see that you're involved. They see that you care. You're showing up, and then they kind of, slowly they migrate to you,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And the people you're meeting at the events, networking you're going to, are top people, usually other
Hmm.
owners. So I thought it was great, and I tell everybody, if you're going into a company, hit the owner first. Let him send you
Yeah.
down to talk to
Absolutely.
someone.
It'll trickle down.
Don't go in. It's too hard to go in low and try to get up. Too many blockers, right?
Yes. The low person usually doesn't stay there very long either. That person is usually rotated. So you get to know them and they leave and then you're done for. So yeah, I always tell
Oh
my staff
my
too, I said,
God.
make sure you keep the logo on the job somewhere because that's when the new person comes in and they don't know who to call, even if we haven't done something for them before, it's right in front of their face. It's easy. They're not going to do a lot of research. They're just going to say, oh, this company does printing. You make it easy for them. They're going to keep coming back. And some of those relationships that I've developed in the early networking are still to this day playing out right now. So that's one of the reasons that I've kind of pared back. But back in the day, I was pretty busy trying to get to know everybody in the area. And I enjoy volunteering. I love service. So that part came very naturally for me. And so I think people recognize that and they want to give to a local. I will say one of the great things that happened after COVID is people went back to local, I feel.
Correct.
It was so when people came back, I was overwhelmed with business, quite honestly. The goals that I was trying to hit before COVID, I never hit. I hit without even setting a goal that first year that everything opened back up. It was quite amazing.
Listen, it's when you know your customers, when you've got your feet on the ground, when you are involved and you are connected, things work. I
Yeah.
think for a lot of people after COVID, if they didn't have solid relationships, it was a lot harder to get back in and to do things, right? Than if you had the solid relationships. But oh my God, you're saying everything. Like, did you listen to all my stuff and write down everything I said on all my other podcasts?
No, I have listened to a few of your, well, I've listened to a lot of them, but
I appreciate that.
the last one I listened to was the gentleman, I think it was on print, where he's got the online portals.
Yeah.
I want to get into that, but it's just like you with your t-shirts. I've done it before myself on the back end, and I want no part of it. That is way over my head. It's too time consuming. It's frustrating. I've set up a few I've set up at least 3 over the past 10 or 15 years, and I don't ever want to do it again. So unless I can pay someone else for it, or I can bring someone in house that can take and keep that role, I need to look into that. But
yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of great people out there, and you can't do everything yourself anyways.
Yeah.
Right. I just, my shop, the Printwhisper Shop, I just did the whole shop myself. I had a little bit of help, but between everything, 100 hours, it's not as quick as they say it is when you talk to Shopify, but or Printful, but did it all myself, way above my wheelhouse. Some days didn't even know if I was going to survive because my brain was spinning. But at the end, hey, what a great feeling when you get it done. Now you know something else, and now I'm ready to bring in someone else when I have to do more.
Yeah,
it's just exactly. Now I understand it because it's a whole new, it's a whole new world of different language, right?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
you got to learn all that.
Yeah,
but it's definitely good. So right now you don't do any web to print. It's all people coming in or emailing you, sending you.
Correct. I mean, they can upload files to the website and it gets sent to everyone in the office, but other than that, there's no direct web to print from the website.
Then you need to get on that quickly, because that's
I know. It's
okay,
on my
we could talk after. We could talk about what your needs are after and whatnot. But aside from going to the events that you go to, how do you do any marketing, advertising, radio? I don't know, anything. What do you do?
Yeah, I do. So I have a pretty in-depth marketing plan. So I mail every month. Then we tie that into our social media and e-blast. I'm not very good with e-blast because I hate getting too many emails, so I feel kind of intrusive sometimes when I do e-blast, but I know that's part of marketing, so I try to get over that.
Well, so I'm going to tell you what I learned, because I felt the same way as you. And when I have to send out, I said that to someone, and someone said to me, like, don't be like that. Everyone has the option to opt out if they don't want it.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. My problem is when I try to opt out, I get it anyway.
Well, you got to keep opting out until it works, or you send the email. But so sorry, go on. You were saying not good with the email.
So yeah, we do marketing. Each month I try to have a little tchotchke or something that I put in people's jobs. It rotates based on the season. It rotates based on maybe what extra stock I have in house. We're Facebook, LinkedIn, all the social medias, Instagram. My graphic designer handles those, so I'm not on it a whole lot, I have to say. So when people mention things, I just smile and nod, like, great, I'm glad that you saw that. My customer service, we call her the director of first impressions. She's amazing, and she's really good about handing out a QR code to happy customers to scan the QR code and give us a 4-star review on Google. So we do a lot of that because most of the people that come to us find us through Google, obviously. Let's see, what else do we do?
Are you advertising on Google, or they're just because you're a local search when you come up?
Just through our website company, they just do the keyword searches and that sort of, and I always respond, which I think raises your level.
But are you spending money on Google AdWords monthly? Okay.
No, cool. I have before in the past, and I just don't think that it was worth the bang for your buck. Yeah, it's better just to have that interaction. If you can get people to post their reviews and you respond, that was way worth more than the amount of money for the ads.
Oh my God, 100%.
Yeah, we do a ton of sponsorships in the area. We're getting constantly asked for. I do cap it now. I have an actual marketing budget so it's easier to say no to people. I'm a big sucker. I always want to help. So I tend to say yes for everything.
I had dummy written on my forehead. Go to Warren. He'll do anything for you.
Exactly.
And by the way,
say no.
two reasons in the beginning. One, I did everything selfishly because I wanted to build the business, right? And I
Yes.
didn't know a lot about, I didn't even know a lot about some of the charities that I was doing work for. And then what happened is when I started doing the work for them, and then I started being there more often, I ended up getting involved with a bunch of them and doing fundraising, getting on the board, and oh my God, what a great feeling knowing that you're helping somebody who's in a different situation than you.
Yeah,
And then like
absolutely.
you, I had to go, okay, whoa, just pull back just a little, because in
Yeah,
order to help other people, you got to make sure you're in a good place yourself, right? Otherwise, it just
exactly.
comes to
Yeah.
it comes to a halt, right?
Yeah.
Do anybody in the company get involved in your outreach and things like that you do?
Oh yeah, we do a lot. We've taken days where we've gone to the food pantry. I'll stay in the shop and send some of the staff. I have my graphic designer. She's part of a roller derby team that we
Oh,
sponsor.
cool.
Yeah, it was cool. So we sponsor that, and they do a ton in the. It's not through Fast Print necessarily, but they do a lot in the community. So they're in different parades locally, and they go to. They've donated to. We have a theater called the Paramount Theater, so they donate money to certain shows, and so they. And then I have another employee that is a chamber member in Oswego, and she attends events, and she used to run her own business as well, so she understands where I'm at and the things that you have to do in the community to keep your name and your face out there. But I think,
Wow.
I mean, she does it mostly now, I think, because she just feels good. Those are the people that she, used to network with and are friendly with, obviously, now, and have a lot of connections there.
Yeah, listen, it's important to feel good about what you're doing, and if you feel good about what you're doing, it doesn't seem like even it's an effort when you do it,
Right, yeah. And
right?
almost everyone in the shop too is an artist locally, so they attend there's an alley art fest. It's been going on for years. It's phenomenal in the downtown, and it's just really nice to see them. One of them's painted two murals on buildings in the downtown, so every time you drive around, you think,
Wow.
"Oh, hey, that cat did that." Her name's Catalina, but we call her
Wow.
Cat.
Right. No, that's amazing. So it's like everyone's involved. It's
Yeah.
wow.
Hmm.
And do they all
Yeah.
interact with your customers?
Yes, yeah. I mean, we're in a very Hispanic population, so we have two that speak Spanish. So the even Kat that's in the back typically, and she's running the machines and doing the bindy work and doing the deliveries, we pull her up, and everybody answers the phone. Everybody's got to do everything every now and again. So they all, some have more interaction. I probably have the least interaction with customers, honestly, right now, face to face, just so I can get my own, so I can work on my strategies. But
Well, you have bigger things to do than some of the day
yeah,
jobs.
yeah.
So it's
It's funny because we do have customers that come in that I don't recognize them. I recognize their voice just from coming in, but before I could tell by the voice who it was, what company they were with and what they were picking up, and now it's nice but also nerve-wracking at the same time.
well, listen, A-type, right? But you can't beat
Yeah.
yourself up.
Yep.
Otherwise you're just always going to be like, "Rrr."
Yeah.
No, but honestly, I'm sitting here, I'm smiling, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like one of the best stories I've heard. Um, you, you just seem to be doing all the right things,
Yeah.
right?
Well, thank you.
Which
Appreciate
which
that.
is which is nice. Sending people and involvement and all around. Oh my God,
Yeah.
it's wow. Are there any schools that you go to around there to promote print in any way or
Oh,
access to that?
yeah, so they have some trade schools in the area. One is called it's IVIC, which is closer to where I live. I live about 45 minutes outside of Aurora right now. So I do some mock interviews towards the end of their school year. I've gone out and just kind of watched what they are teaching just so that we have, in case we have some input there. They also have, it's called like, it's an organization called Valleys that's through one of the local community colleges that once a year they pull all of the trades graphic designers and they have a contest between all the different schools. So they have teams and they give them a business, obviously a fake business, but a business where they have to create, social media, print marketing, and signage for this business. And then the kids present, and I'm one of the judges for that as well. So that's once a year that we do that. And I have to say, and we do an internship with one of the local high schools too.
Oh,
And I
great.
did it because, of course, I can't say no. And I didn't think that I was going to have so much fulfillment from that. I thought that I would walk in teaching them, and they always say, and I was the younger generation at one point too, that oh, this generation, and I've gotten to say that myself a few times. But when I meet these students and I see what their creativity and their professionalism, they're above and beyond where I was at in the 90s. I'm floored in a positive way. I really am.
Yeah, no, oh my God, like good on you. And it's just so you know what, it's motivating for them when people like you are there doing those type of things, right? Because they need to be able to learn to interact with people that are in different places, different levels above,
Yes.
so that they have this whole level of comfort. Because I mean, the world's a scary place today. Like, forget the politics, just the amount of people, jobs. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
The schooling,
Yeah.
all that other stuff.
Scams. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot out there for them to be afraid of. So having a safe environment and trusting people, I think is key. And communication, trying to teach them how to have positive communication and what that looks like. That's difficult. It's difficult for me even at, almost 50 years old. So
I think.
people have to work on that their whole lives.
Well, communication is the hardest thing, right? It's,
Yeah.
how do you want to come across? How do you want to be perceived? How do you want people to come across to you? You got to try to remember to treat everybody with kindness and respect. And
Hmm.
unfortunately, that doesn't always work in the heat of the moment,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so we jumped everywhere, but tell me about the shop. Tell me kind of what you do, what your specialty is. Um,
We do a little of everything. I mean, we do, your typical business forms. We still do carbonless. I have to say, we still do a ton of carbonless forms.
I haven't
For
heard carbonless in maybe since before COVID.
Yeah, I just got a quote this morning. Someone was requesting a 4-part carbonless form, so let alone even a 2-part. It was a 4-part form. I know, and this is like this is a company that it's a geology company. They literally drill down in rock. So I don't know what they're using it for. I told him to send me a sample of what he's thinking. I'll let you know because I'm curious as well. But we do wide format is probably the biggest growth right now. We've got a couple machines. I would like to hire someone else to help with installs. I've got one guy that does it right now, and he usually just pulls one of the bindery girls, and they go with. But it would be nice just to have another person dedicated to that. I'm running out of space in my shop. We're in a downtown location, and it's just an
Ooh,
older building.
expensive too.
So yeah, yeah. So that is probably one of my biggest threats on my business plan right now is that. But we do a lot of mailings. I have an indicia that we do that we can use from time to time. So that's kind of nice. Our biggest time suck, though, I would say, is the mailings. It's like I love it, but I don't love it. There's not a lot of local companies that do some of the smaller mailings, and we
Right.
can 5 to 7,000 is kind of our max that we would do in house, and then after that, I'm going to send it out to another company. But got some digital equipment, obviously, scoring machines, folding machines. Guillotine cutter is still my favorite in the entire shop. I just love the sound of it. I love the hum. Yeah, it's just that blade is
Sideways.
amazing to me. Yeah, yeah. So, and it is kind of funny just because we're in an open environment. I don't have my own office, and just the sounds, you can tell when something jams or you can tell when something
Yeah.
doesn't go through right. And some of them, you kind of bounce to a little bit too.
Listen, you start to learn the tune, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Everything's got a beat, everything's got a rhythm, everything's got a vibe.
Yeah. And I would say probably our niche really is just fast. I mean, fast is in the name of the company. I didn't put it there. I thought about taking it out several times because it can be a challenge. We've had people say they'll come in at 4 o'clock and they want business cards by 5, and we say we can't do it. And they're like, we thought you were fast. It's like, well, you can come back tomorrow at 9 and I'll have them done, which is pretty fast. But you get that stereotype where some people say, oh wow, that was fast, and then you get the you're supposed to be fast. Those are the people I don't ask to come back.
Oh, I was gonna say those are the idiots.
Yeah, I've gotten
Those are
pretty good
those are the
over the
ones you
years.
show. Those are the ones. Sorry, those are the ones you show the door because
Yes.
you're not going to win no matter what you do.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's something you learn over time. I always felt, especially when I was younger, didn't want to be disrespectful, but I've gotten to the point where I've asked people to leave and not to come back because they've been hard on my staff, and they shouldn't be treated like that. They don't make enough money for something like that. Or and
By the
you shouldn't do
way,
it in the first place, but
that's what I was going to say. It's not about that. It
yeah.
also tells you who you are as a person when you're doing that to other people,
Right, yeah.
right? That's
And I
they're
want a
just
good
basically
environment.
they're bullies in short.
Yes. Yep. Yep. I've had someone throw a piece of paper at me, like my quote, and they didn't like that. It's like, who does that? And it's amazing. Every time I say, that's never happened before, or I've never seen that, something comes up, and it makes for a good story, but it certainly doesn't make you feel good in the moment because they
Yeah, but
can they can get at you.
someone through paper might say, "Oh, you must have proud parents." Right?
That's
You
a
got
good one.
to.
Yeah.
I always got to say something. I just can't let
Yeah.
the person walk
Yeah.
out. But
I
but you don't have them back, and there's no room. And by the way, when you do that, uh, the employees see you stand up for them, and it
Yes.
again, relationship, friendship makes them
Yeah.
feel better. They know you have their back,
Yeah,
right?
loyalty goes both ways. I need to show them that I care about them. They show up every day for me. I'm up here doing this without being bothered. That didn't happen on I didn't do that. They're doing that for me. So
Yeah, and I mean,
I try to keep that in perspective.
from an ownership perspective, the truth is you need the team, or you
Hmm.
wouldn't be where you are. You need to
Right.
treat them right because you need to treat all people right, as
Exactly.
everyone should be the same. But yeah,
Yep.
that's something that should just be keep being reinforced and reinforced and reinforced because
Yes.
in 2026, I don't know who thinks what anymore, or
Agreed.
I don't know if
Agreed.
anything's right or anything's wrong. But
Yeah.
wow, yeah, oh my God, so you guys, it's like just doing everything. It sounds just so what you should be doing.
Yeah.
And are you profitable?
Yes. Yeah. This is probably the last, I would say 3 or 4 years were this past year we are more profitable than we've ever been. Like I said, the person that does my bookkeeping, she does my receivables. She's fabulous. I mean, she's on the phone with Comcast for the hour and a half to 2 hours to get our phone bill down. She's on the phone, I don't have the patience for that stuff. So I used to just, fine, I'm just going to pay it, and I get frustrated and I just move on. I got other things to do. So she really watches the numbers and gets those numbers down where I watch some of the strategy of it. And we're in a good position. If
Anyways,
COVID,
I liked when I asked the question and your face kind of lit up.
yeah,
And you were saying, yeah, because there's too many printers whose faces don't light up like that,
yeah.
and they should light up. Do you give the stuff away?
Oh no, I've gotten really good
Another
about,
good answer. Oh no,
yeah,
I like that. I'm gonna make a T-shirt.
yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, when I first, I never had a business plan. Like I said, I plugged in my first computer, and I think the only plan that I had, my dad had said, if you were to lose your top three customers, what would you do? And I thought, I'll never lose my top three customers. I treat them like gold. And what happened in the next 2007, 2008 hit, I lost my top three customers. So, and I remember him having me hold my paycheck several times. And when I bought the business, I said, I just don't want to hold my paycheck. I have, kids at this point. I have mouths to feed. My husband stayed home at the time, so my income was the only income that we had, and that made me very nervous. So it was motivating, obviously, with a new family and a new business. So I've gotten to a very healthy point. And not that I lived paycheck to paycheck, paying bills, but there were times too where, you're looking at your paycheck or what's in your bank account and your paycheck and the bill that you sent out, you're floating checks sometimes, and I didn't like that feeling, so I worked really hard to not be in that feeling. I did join a peer group at one point that helped me focus on
Oh,
financials, and that was huge. It turned my life around, honestly, as far as work goes, because it got me to not be so involved in the production of the day to day, which that's how I started. So that's what I was comfortable with, and it put me into a spot where I had to present a business plan to people that I didn't even know that were more successful than me, that the people that had put the group together had many successes over and over in different businesses, and it was intimidating. And that in itself, I thought I can do this. So it was motivating.
again, peer group. So
Yeah.
important. Again, another thing that you've done right. I mean,
Yeah.
man, your father must have been quite the guy to put all this in. You know, because I was a member of peer
He
group
was.
for 20 years plus.
Hmm.
It's nice when you have a table of people that you can call on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're smaller. If you're alone, a lot more experience out there, right?
Yeah.
A quote, a purchase, anything, you have someone to fall back on,
Yep.
right? And then you have the
Some
people at the different levels within their company for your people to speak to if they have to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So if you're out there listening and you don't belong to a peer group, join a peer group. And if you're going to
Yes.
give me a reason why you shouldn't join a peer group, you're a moron. No, because
Agreed. Yeah.
it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Again,
And it,
people you meet,
yeah.
like
And it
what
was
you
my
learn.
dad. He was the one that, he kind of said, these are the things that you should do. Make sure you read about the industry. Make sure you join a peer group. And like I said, I didn't know what I was doing. So I just, okay, I'll just do what you're telling me to do. So I was very stubborn in other ways with him, and as far as the business goes, he had the respect of the community. So I knew that there was something there that he was doing right.
Yeah, well, listen, there's always the parent-child relationship.
Yes.
That's a
Yeah.
whole other thing at home,
Yeah.
or sometimes at the office.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, what you said is I recognized, you noticed, you looked, you were aware, right?
Yes.
What
Yep.
I'm walking away from here is that you're really aware of your surroundings. You're really wise as to what goes on, and you take nothing for granted.
I try not
Wow.
to. Yeah.
Well, we all take a little, and why not? I mean,
Yeah.
otherwise life's boring if you don't.
Right.
A little
Well, and
bit,
when
but
I'm firm believer everything what goes around comes around. So it's like the times that I have, you might not realize it in the time. And I thought I can do this. You get a little too cocky here and there, and then one job just smacks you right back down.
but that's okay.
So
Like, listen, I say to everyone, you make mistakes, it's learning. You make the
yes,
same mistake twice, you're done,
yeah, yes,
right?
exactly.
The first time you can't fault anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you probably learned sometimes the information you gave them wasn't exactly comprehensible either.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
two-way thing, but
Yep.
you have to learn and you have to teach. It's all part of teaching,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
It's like I tell people, I dropped out of university because I didn't have the attention span to sit there and I was bored.
Yeah.
But today, the millions of dollars of mistakes that I've made, oh my God, I could teach a course for years, right? Just from
Agreed.
like
Agreed.
without paperwork, it just comes to mind every single thing that you kind of
Yeah.
do.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I try to
You
tell
know?
them too when they come to me with a mistake. I don't want you to hide anything. Come and tell me. And I understand. I can tell you how to fix it because I've made that same mistake. And I think that provides a little bit of comfort for them as well, knowing that, hey, and I've probably made it more times than they have throughout different jobs that have come through the shop. So,
Right.
and I don't know how to run the machines, and the newer machines, I don't know how to run them anymore. The old school, I can do I can do those, but the new digital, scoring machines and the
You don't just push
Duplos.
you don't just push the button and then hit the
Yeah,
score
yeah,
that you
exactly.
want and it pushes
Yeah,
over and it
cuts
moves and
everything
adjusts the
down.
thickness of
Yeah,
everything.
and perfect.
Yeah.
It's got perfect alignment. It's never needs a new blade. There's
I
no
don't know how to
cracking.
I don't know how to fold there unless you fold the paper and put it in all the different places along the way. I don't know how to
Exactly.
run a folder.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
even know how to run one anyways. I saw them run it once.
yeah.
But it was cool. But doing all that you do, the payback comes back,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Agreed.
It's
Yep.
what do you have any plans for the future? Expansion, big
I
projects?
I do. I do. So the building that I'm in, we're in a good position with my dad and I when it went into bankruptcy and foreclosure at one point, and we ended up buying the building.
Oh,
So my next door space, yes, thank you. That was always his goal, was to not pay rent to someone that he thought the business should own, another business, not Aurora Fast Print, but there's another entity that owns the building. So Aurora Fast Print pays that entity. But we have a space next door. It's United Way. And this is the last year of their lease, so I'm potentially might be expanding and doubling the size of my shop. So I'm
wow.
looking into a lot of equipment right now to see really what that looks like. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to expand. I mean, I'm kind of, I read a book about retiring or whatever the book is, and it was fabulous. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna work on that. But my staff is crowded. They're constantly stepping over. And I love to have paper put away, everything in its place. And we're so busy, or not busy, but we're so cramped right now that not everything has a place, and there's a landing spot, and then it just sits there. And that is,
Yeah,
I
it's a
don't
little
like that
good.
environment.
That's a little good though. Like
Yeah.
just because, right? Because then
But
when
if
you,
we keep growing, we're growing naturally. I'm not pushing it. So
yeah,
we're
no,
growing so naturally that we need more
yeah.
space.
And if you move, you have to be careful because when you move into a big place, if you didn't do a proper plan and a setup before, you end up
Hmm.
filling up the place, and then again, you're out of room before you know it. So you have to
Yeah.
strategically place everything. I would recommend that when we did our expansion and we moved, I hired someone professional in print
Oh.
production flow or
Hmm.
production flow so that everything kind of went one way. And when he came in, I had my own plan. I had my own vision of how I saw the shop. And, he said, okay, he goes, you prepare yours first and then we'll look at it and then I'll come back with you. And
Yeah.
basically everything I did, he crumpled up his paper, threw it in the garbage, and then we
Yeah.
redid it. But what he did was he had everything flowing. So
Yeah.
my way, I could have lost 10% of my profit just walking back and forth the wrong way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
very important.
I'd love that. Yeah.
Well, we could chat. And then the other thing I would just tell you is anytime you're going to discuss stuff, do not discuss with your OEM suppliers what you're doing.
Got it.
Figure out what you want to do first because
Yeah.
they'll work, and that's their job to sell you on whatever. And you might get excited, like when you go buy a car and you don't want to see something, they show it to you, and then you got to get it, but you didn't need it.
Yeah.
There's a lot to
Absolutely.
do because
Hmm.
when you expand, it's exciting, but it's critical that you do it right because that's when a lot of people trip and fall.
Yeah.
Right, the move ends up costing more. You want to make sure if you have leases coming up that they're coming, new ones are coming when you're making the move, not a month before, 2 months after. So you're
Yes,
paying double. Anyway, a
definitely.
lot of stuff, but that's
Yeah.
great.
That's helpful because that is, I mean, like I said, since we own the building, obviously, if I expand, then Aurora Fast Print pays 100% of that mortgage. So that is it makes me a little anxious to do that. I'm excited, and I think I think it's possible, but it still is putting all my eggs in one basket for the print shop. But I think I've got a good team. I'm in a great location. We've been here for so long that I don't want to move out of the downtown, and
Right.
there is no more bigger buildings in the downtown that I can move to. So I would be moving out of, I think, where our culture is here, quite honestly. Like I said, we've got artists that are embedded in this community.
So from knowing nothing really about your business,
Mm-hmm.
but just from the conversation and you as a person,
Yeah.
I'm going to figure that the move expansion is probably a lot better, or you probably need it a lot more than you're giving yourself credit for because you're a hold back type of person.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good move for you.
I'm a little controlling at times.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna make a joke. I
Yeah.
stopped myself. It's 2026.
Yeah.
No, but just the vibe that I'm getting.
Yeah.
It's all true passion. It's a true love of what you do. I'm not sensing any ego like I get from some others. Not
Yeah.
that there's anything wrong with some ego because you need it to keep moving forward and keep you up there.
Yeah.
But no, I think you're doing everything right.
Well, thank you.
I'm
Appreciate
in
that.
awe. I'm just in honestly, like I said it like maybe 8 times already. Like whoa.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
I think you can take this little show on the road and go talk to other print groups and advise them as to what they should be doing because you literally are doing it for the most part. Everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Wow.
But it's been a work in
I don't even
progress.
know what else to say. I'm just like,
Yeah.
wow. No, you have a great culture. You send people to trade shows.
Yeah.
You market. You speak to people, peer groups. Wow. You're like the modern day print person.
Yeah. Like I said, it was an evolution. It happened very naturally because I didn't know what else to do. So I just I kind of let the industry guide me a little bit. I had some good, I don't necessarily know if they were mentors really along the way, but just people that really trusted me. Some people put me in positions that I did not think I was ready for, but I didn't want to disappoint them at the same time. So I, kind of made me step up to some leadership roles in the community that I would have never picked to step into or volunteered for. That's for sure. So
Right.
that was huge along the way too.
Yeah, I get the sense that anything you get involved in, you do it well.
Yeah,
Just from a self-determination point, right? I'm
Yes.
not
Yeah.
just because, and I get the sense you downplay everything, which is nice.
I don't want to waste my time. Yeah. If I'm going to spend my time, I'm going to make it worth my while, or
Yeah, no,
someone's
and
while, I guess.
right, no, and giving credit to the others. No, all around. Oh my God, you get the star of the week.
Yeah. Thank you.
You actually,
I'll
that would
put
be
you
the
on my
first.
mailing list.
That would be the first star I ever gave out, because I never gave out stars. You know what? I'm gonna get some stickers, and I'm gonna, like the teacher used to do, and I'm gonna put on a
That'd
card, and
be
I'm gonna
great.
mail it to you, just for fun. But
Awesome.
wow, no,
Yeah.
honestly, are you part of any associations, Printing United, or
Yep.
what's that other one? The National Association of Little Printers, or NAP?
Yeah. I'm not on that one. I'm in Printing United. I'm in Women in Print. We
Okay.
used to be, what is it, NAQP way back in the day. Or there was a couple other ones that my dad was part of that I think just,
Yeah, done.
yeah. But I would say, I mean, Printing United right now, I try to utilize their online resources. They've got some really good videos for people that don't know anything about print. And it really, we can all explain things till we're blue in the face, and sometimes I over explain it where I think I lose them. So this kind of gives me a basis of where to start, and they can at least ask the questions that I can then expand on. I don't do a
Yeah.
lot of the training, honestly. The staff does. They kind of train each other and how the workflow goes, because that's not, I'm not going to get involved in workflow. If they put me in the back when we get busy, I usually kind of put a rift in some of the flow
Oh
just
my
because
God.
I do it differently, you know? So it's, I try not to be involved just because it makes them less efficient.
Oh my God, I'd be making jokes all day talking to them. I wouldn't get any. They actually always tell me, like, just shut up and move away. You're slowing us down,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's like,
Unless I'm running the folding machine, then I have the big, like, those big air traffic controller headphones on,
right.
and then I can't hear or talk. That's the only thing they let me do.
Yeah, I was always good with the lift truck, but they didn't let me drive it. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I was always stuck, but there's
Yeah.
always something to do. Wow, wow, wow. That, you know what? We started off, I wasn't 100% sure of just the whole conversation.
Yeah.
And oh my God. Oh my God. Kudos to you, and kudos to
Well,
your
thank
team.
you.
And I'm honestly love it. That's like success story right off the bat.
Yeah.
So, and if any of the other trade people are listening, or magazines, associations, they definitely want to have you as a speaker to speak about what you're doing.
That would be
Wow.
great. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Flabbergasted. That was just so cool. You know? Wow. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to wind it up, because
Okay.
I don't even know what else to ask you. You've covered everything. You're doing everything right, in my opinion. Your passion, your
Well,
feeling.
your opinion's the only opinion that matters then.
I'm going to take that recording and make a clip out of it and keep playing it, because
Right. Yeah.
I think my wife once said to me way back, I think she said, "You're right once." and I didn't record it, and I wish I did, because no one believes it. No one believes me. But wow. So before we go, anything you want to add? Could there be anything else you didn't tell us, or you want to say, or let people know before we go?
I don't think so. I want to comment on your marketing, quite honestly. I mean, like I said, I placed that order, and you can feel your enthusiasm through the phone, through the emails. Your thank you cards came. I mean, that's phenomenal. We do thank you cards too. I have people email me, thank you for the thank you card. I think sometimes we forget about some of the little things. And I'm a
It doesn't
printer,
end.
right?
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah,
You're welcome for the welcome for
right.
the thank you.
Yeah. And it's easy to send an email and say thank you, but when you have something tangible in your hand, I mean, it's an extra effort that people truly appreciate. And I think that your marketing is on point as well. From the two staff members that went to the expo, you were their very first seminar that they had attended, so they were jazzed about. Yeah,
Oh,
they
my
were
God.
jazzed about your conversation. So you started the print show
good,
off for
good,
them.
good.
So they came back with just as much excitement as you have right now. So I think that's key too.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know where I just have a high level of passion for my print, for my fishing, for anything that I do. Otherwise, I don't do it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it just I had a little ADHD and a little whatever, so it's hard to sit still and
Yeah.
and whatnot. But no,
Yes.
but thank you. That's cool. Yeah, and I want to just share with everybody. I want to spread it. I want everyone who's doing whatever they do to feel good and passionate about what they do, because when you are, it doesn't make what you're doing like a job.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Wow, man. Oh my God. So what a day. You said all the right things. Then you said all the right things to me. I think I'm just going to call it a day today, and that's
That
it.
sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mic
yeah.
drop.
So I'm just going to give it back to you and say you've done it right. You give off the right vibe, and I only see great things happening when you make that decision to go do the expansion. And if I could help you in any way, it'd be my pleasure.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I'm interested about that print production flow, because I think that would be something I need to look into, definitely. Because what I think the flow should be doesn't usually translate to what actually happens in the back anymore. So that
No,
would
but it's
definitely be
simple. You
helpful.
want the file to come in here, and you want everything to go one direction out the door. Nobody should walk
Yeah.
backwards for any reason.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
the basic of it. But
Yeah.
yeah, we could talk about that. But wow. So again, kudos to you. Thank you so much for buying the shirts, because if you didn't buy the shirts, well, first of all, if I didn't do the marketing, you never would have bought the shirt. So I'll start off with tapping me first. No, I'm just kidding.
Got it.
But no, but kudos to you for doing what you did and buying the shirt, because the marketing worked. You made my day. You gave me hope, momentum in my business of the shirts. And then here you are sitting telling the perfect story.
Yeah.
I can't ask for more. So to everybody listening, you don't know what's coming. You don't know what goes around. You just always put your foot forward and do what you feel is the right thing to do. Don't listen to anyone.
Right.
And be kind to everyone. Because if you're kind, it makes everything else easier.
Yes. Be kind, but it's okay to say no.
Nancy Reagan said that, but I don't say
really?
those. I don't say no for those reasons. But anyways, yeah, you could always say no.
Yeah.
No is no.
Yeah.
That's what I teach my son. No is no. So thank you again. Everybody else, I really hope you made it and you listened to this whole thing. I'm sure if you started off, you went to the end. Anybody wants to know anything, reach out to me. Let me know. You want to be on, reach out to me. Let me know. You need something, reach out to me. Let me know. With that, I'm going to say ciao. Always a pleasure. We'll see you next time, and print on, stay safe.